So I want to share a story about a beautiful young lady I'd worked with for years, in and out of education, in and out of mental health, in and out of hard times, and her conquering them and becoming strong and confident. But one particular day, I was at the same school she was, and I could hear her yelling a long ways away. And when I got down to where she was at the front door, there were a number of police and security surrounding her. She happened to be standing on a table, screaming a lot of things, etc. It was a very unsafe environment for everyone, not just her.
He was testing to see if we were safe when I look back in that period of time.
She's admitted that to foster homes before. She will just do anything and everything to prove that people will leave her and push them away. And they have, and they've proven her right to the point that she thinks that that's all that it takes. And I had to show her there's nothing that you can do that will keep me from having anything to do with you.
For me just to sit there calmly and just wait for him and let him say whatever he needed to say, but I wouldn't leave, just be there for him.
And I took a deep breath and I eased into her space and I lifted my hand up and I said, honey, can you take my hand and look into my eyes? Now, pretty vulnerable spot physically that I was in right then, but I made eye contact with her. And I said, will you just trust me for a minute and come with me? You don't need any of this. Just hold on to my hand and look me in the eye and step down. Let's go to my office where it's safe.
Safe as being cared for.
Safe as being loved.
Safe as being listened to.
Providing an environment that is free from all kinds of harm, not just physical, but emotional, spiritual, mental, just safe to grow up as a kid, like as every kid should.
She slowly stepped down and walked with me. And when we got into the room, we did a little deep breathing. We did some strategies to calm down a little bit. We sat in comfy chairs. And you know, she couldn't even remember where she had been. That was a blur. Her mental and emotional space was not even connected right then, right? So we got to a place where she was open to me and I could help her process forward.
Just being there for them and being there with them and them knowing that is a form of safety, because then they know that they're not alone.
I tell you this story because this was a child who had broken lots of windows, done lots of things, had lots of tough things, generations of rough things that she had had to process over and over and over and over, not necessarily with the right people or the right tools available for her. And so at that moment, I could just see that little light come on in her, like she didn't have to go backwards anymore.
I really truly believe in my heart that real safety comes when you feel that you have somebody there that you can depend on and that can hear you out and that can support you in anything you do. If you feel like you're by yourself, feel like you're alone, you feel like you don't have anyone, that drops all the safety that you would feel anyway.
What I've learned over my years is that sympathy and compassion is really allowing us to come alongside somebody. Like, for example, offer some money in a GoFundMe, talk with them, process. And I think those are amazing things that help hold up our community. But I truly believe that empathy is when we can step into somebody's space and we can earn their trust and we can turn our compassion into true help. Being empathetic is wrapping our arms around the situation and sometimes holding people up when they need that. And we all need that.
It's a big learning curve to work with a kid who's had trauma, but it's again why Release does a very good job of training you and supporting you, and not just training and then goodbye. It's they walk through it, they continue to help you.
Release takes you and gives you an orientation. They check your background, they also check the background and everything of the kid you are going to work with and their family. They give you sufficient information so you know what you're going into. It's all about safety and safety for the kids. So, and Release continues to work with you. I receive texts and messages so you know you have a company that works with you, partners with you to help you achieve the desire of your heart.
Just a couple weeks ago, we were all sick. My bio children, my foster son, everybody was going through, and they delivered, had bakers deliver Gatorade, popsicles, Jellos, gluten. We have celiac disease at our house, multiple of us, so they gluten-free soups, all sorts of things. Like something that wasn't necessary. Like we were okay, but just the thought of they knew that this was going on at our house and they showed up.
I think it's the right thing to do. I think more families should get involved. I've heard different statistics, but if every church in the country had one foster family that they had and supported, all of the kids in foster care would be taken care of.
I told Garrett that Release does a really good job in the training of getting you right up to the point of telling you not to do this.
He's like, this is gonna wreck you guys in the best way. I think is what he said to us before we started, which hindsight was true. I mean, it was it is the hardest thing we've ever done, but in the best way.
If I meet somebody and they're not reacting to things the same way I am, I don't know what's happened with them or where they're going. When in the school system, the kids used to joke with me because I'd write 3 letters on my hand. B, D, A. And they'd always be like, Dr. Busby, why are you doing that? Because it reminds me, right now, I'm in the D. That's the during. You had a fight, you did whatever, we're during. But I owe it to you to realize what happened before you got here. I owe that to you. And I also owe it to you to help you figure out what's going to happen after this. Because I can look at a situation, a traumatic situation, a behavior of a child, dysregulation in a family, and I can just live in the during and make my decisions based on what I think needs to happen. And it's not about me. I have to be cognizant of what happened before, and I have to help them figure that out so they can be fully aware now and we can move towards success or hope.
It is 100% worth it, because at the end of the day, when I get that random hug, you know those hugs that you just feel their heart, you just feel that you just did something, like the hug where they just release everything. And it's when I get those, or even just the smile sometimes, just the twinkle in the eye sometimes when they look at me, it makes everything worth it. And to me, it's those little things that reminds me it's not in vain.
You know, during the pandemic, one kid almost cried at school one day and he said, you know what? I need to see your smile. I said, I need that every day. That was probably a blessing, and it just broke my heart to think the little things we do for granted in a day, like smile, or be happy, or don't walk in a place and wear everything you're working with, all the trauma and all the hurt. Don't wear that. Be who you're supposed to be. Like you never know, that might save somebody's life.